to talk about solutions to estate trust and estate problems. Specifically talking with Steve, who's a professional trustee and estate administrator, and Hark, who is an estate lawyer and mediator. They have a combined 50 years of experience in dealing with estate administrative issues.
It seems like more.
It seems like more. Only 50. Only 50.
We want to see you make it to 100.
That's my goal right there. Thank you for having us today.
You got it. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Let's start with how an executor ends up being in charge of the administration of an estate.
Well, basically what happens when there's two things that go into it. Number one, an executor oversees the will. And number one, your first job is, hey, is the will good or is it bad? And usually that's pretty simple. It's good. But then the fun part comes where you say, gee, you have to be in charge of the will or execute it.
Yeah.
Well, what's that mean? Well, you put yourself in the person who made the will's shoes and you try and follow the directions they've laid out for you to do this. A lot of people get very excited when they say, gee, I've been named executor. I can get paid X percentage of dollars here. Well, you can if you do the work, but there's a lot of work involved to it, such as you have to take care of the debts of the estate, you have to take care of the taxes of the estate, and at a minimum, you have to take care of outstanding debtors that have come out of the closet. Gee, the estate owes me X number of dollars. I've had my claim out here for 50 years. And there's a lot of work to it, and very detailed work too. It's a job in itself, not to be taken lightly. At the same point, when I'm appointed or asked to become an executor, I take these duties very, very seriously, and I play by the rules. I put myself in the person's shoes, and ultimately, we try and make things totally fair, not show any bias against anybody else or any of the beneficiaries, and we have full disclosure in terms of the beneficiaries and try and get everything settled the way the person who made the will would want it.
We're talking with Steve Holwell. He is a professional fiduciary. His website is holwellfiduciary.com, HOLWELL, fiduciary.com. So, I'm sure we're not going to say that it is impossible for a non-professional to be an executor. Certainly that's possible, right? But you see problems happen all the time with this, right?
Oh, most definitely. I got into the profession by accident. I call myself the accidental trustee because I had a family friend come up to me when I was working my prior career and asked me to become the trustee executor of their estate. Their kids had moved to the East Coast, and I'd known the family all my life growing up. And so they asked me, and I said, okay, I'll do it. What the heck? Well, then when I got involved in it, I found out, wow, there's a lot of duties here. I have to make sure they're taken care of, they're able to live in their house, their health care needs that might come up, make sure that their wishes are followed, they have enough money, the investments are prudently invested, meaning they'll have enough money to live the way they want the rest of their lives. And then, upon their death, to make sure the distributions that they set forward in their will go to the various, in some cases charities, in some cases individuals. When I say accidental, I mean, I don't know, I've never known anyone that's taken a class in school that said, gee, I'm going to learn how to be an executive. They don't offer it in high school or college. And so I kind of learned baptism by fire. I had to buy a probate code and the like. However, that being said, there are basic things you can do, and I think everyone's quite capable of doing them. And I think at the same point, I think we have a lot of capable people out there, but knowledge is the main thing. They're not aware of all the nuances and things going on. And that's very important here.
Well, the big deal is they have to take care of what has been given to them, and then they have to disperse out according to the rules of the particular will. And also, there's just rules that govern all executors and all trustees, right? So there's all these rules that, you know, unless you're a professional like you would have no way of knowing them.
That's exactly
And
it.
then you're giving this responsibility to somebody that probably has a job, probably has kids, has a life.
What you've done in essence, Karen, you're right. You've given them a second job, maybe knowingly, maybe unknowingly. And as things go on, it becomes quite time consuming. Also, there can be situations where maybe one of your beneficiaries may ask for an accounting. And it's like, wow, accounting? Well, heck, I never took accounting in school. Maybe I didn't pass it. What do I do now? And those are very critical things that people should be aware of. I think another thing I've seen out there is sometimes you'll have some adult children beneficiaries who are kind of anxious to be, shall we say, jump the gun a little bit on things. And I think it's always out there, but at the same point, I think that when you explain to everybody that, listen, it's for your parents' benefit, and you want to have the best for your parents, and they want to have the best for you. And I think whenever I get involved in a case or asked to be an executor or the privilege to be an administrator, my philosophy is I try and find people and I leave them in a better place than I found them, and bring some peace and harmony to life that is very stressful, let's face it, with the passing of a loved one, or shall we say maybe some butting heads while I'm involved in the like.
Talking with Steve Holwell. He is a professional fiduciary, and his website is holwellfiduciary.com. So, what do you think people need to know to become a better executor or trustee?
Well, I think common knowledge, but one of the things that I'm kind of embarking on locally, we have something called a fiduciary advisory team. We're doing kind of an ad hoc thing, and the acronym is FAT. Everyone has an acronym. We're FIT in San Diego, but this is FAT. And basically what we're going to do is fatten you up with knowledge. I know what I went through, and I'm acutely aware of the challenges I had when I first became accidentally involved as an administrator many years ago. And what we do is we meet every couple of months, and we have a brown bag lunch around a table. And we have a couple of attorneys, and we have a couple of fiduciaries. And basically allows people to kind of bounce some questions at us, and we kind of give you our advice on maybe how to handle things and maybe what not to do. Sometimes is very important. Some people think, well, gee, I can do this. Like, well, not really. And sometimes you have to put up the stop sign. But it's a free service, and we think it's just a matter of getting knowledge out there and raising the bar. I think after some of the family fiduciaries, family trustees sometimes are appointed, after they come to our seminar, a few things, it gives a little different light and gives them a direction to go. And I think that's kind of very important in life.
You can contact Steve at holwellfiduciary.com for more information on his FAT program, right?
That's exactly it.
holwellfiduciary.com, HOLWELL fiduciary.com.